NBC News' Steve Kornacki is here to break down the numbers for us. And Steve, it's always good to see you, but there is still so much influx. There's only 3 games to go, and so much is up in the air still for the Sixers. Can you walk us through what's going on?
It's wild, isn't it? We've played all these games. We're almost through the entire season, and what's really been settled here, look at this, between the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Sixers, just a half game separating all 3 of those teams. Who's going to get the 2 seed, the 3 seed, the 4 seed? Well, I can tell you going into their game tonight, what our model shows for the Sixers is the odds of them getting the number 2 seed, we got them at 26%. The odds of them getting the number 3 seed, we have them at 46%. The odds of them getting, it looks like a number, there we go. The number 4 seed we have at 27%, and there is actually, technically, theoretically, a chance they could fall as low as number 5, less than a 1% chance of that. What that would be is you lose to the Raptors tonight, then the Raptors win the next 2, the Sixers lose the next 2, the Raptors could jump the Sixers that way. Again, very remote possibility there. So really we're talking the 2, 3, or 4 seed for the Sixers. And as you see, our model thinks the 3 of all of those is the most likely. Why would the 3 be the most likely? They are sitting in the 4 spot right now. Well, let's take a look at the remaining schedules for these teams. And I think the first thing that obviously jumps out, I think you know this if you're a Sixer fan, the Celtics are playing the Bucks tonight. Obviously, someone is going to lose that game. So here's the big opportunity for the Sixers when it comes to moving up. It is tonight's game. It's the game in Toronto. You see our computer model thinks Toronto is a very, very slight favorite in this game, but this is essentially close to a 50-50 shot here. If the Sixers can win this game, if they can go up to Toronto and beat the Raptors tonight, then whoever loses this Celtics or Bucks game, the Sixers will jump in the standings. They will move into the 3rd spot simply by winning the game tonight. And if you move into the 3rd spot with a win tonight, this is what's left. Pacers, Pistons, home games. Not surprisingly, the computer model thinks the Sixers would be overwhelming favorites in both games. So essentially, if the Sixers win out, the worst they could do is get a 3 seed, and with a little bit more help, they could even move up and get the 2 seed. Both the Celtics and the Bucks are going to have tiebreakers over the Sixers. But basically, if the Sixers win tonight, then if the winner of the Celtics-Bucks game loses one down the stretch here, the Sixers could even jump for 2. So win tonight, you're probably playing for a 2 or a 3 seed. If the Sixers lose tonight, there's still an opportunity for them to get the 3 seed. I think the most likely thing they would need then is for the Celts to beat the Bucks. You could see the Bucks and Sixers would still have the same record, and it would just be a question of, hey, the Sixers win out, and if the Bucks get tripped up in one of these 2 games, the Sixers could still jump them in that scenario and get the 3 spot. So you see all these different pathways to 3 for Philadelphia. That's why the computer model thinks the 3 is the most likely spot for them. But certainly if they lose tonight, the 4 very much more in the picture for them for the playoffs.
All right, so if the Sixers are most likely to finish 3rd in that 3 spot, what does it mean for the most likely playoff matchup?
So let's take a look here at, that's the Western Conference. This is what I wanted, the Eastern Conference. So take a look here. A couple things to keep in mind. If the Sixers ever got up here and landed in the 2 spot, and again, we think there's about a 1 in 4 chance things would break for them that way. What you got to look out for, every team in the East thinking about the 2 seed is thinking about this team right here, the Brooklyn Nets. A very different team, obviously, lately. If the Nets can stay in the top 8, that means they will be playing for the 7 seed in that play-in round. There's an opportunity there, a possibility whoever gets the 2nd seed here would face the Nets in the 1st round. In fact, our computer model projects that when all is said and done and that play-in round is over, there's a 28% shot that the Nets are going to end up as the 7 seed. So if the Sixers climb up here to the 2nd spot, they got to look out because potentially you're getting the Nets there. If they finish in the 3rd spot, which again is where our computer thinks they are most likely to land, if they finish in the 3rd spot, it would be the 6th seed they play. Our computer thinks overwhelmingly likely the Bulls are going to be that 6th seed. The Bulls taking that tough loss to the Celtics last night. Now very likely the Bulls stay in the 6th position. And if the Sixers stay right where they are, well, you're probably looking at, our computer says again, overwhelmingly likely, you're looking at a 1st-round date with the team they're playing tonight, the Raptors. So a possibility, a distinct possibility that tonight's game is a preview of a series be played a few days from now.